If you have ever passed by a priest on the street, there is a good chance one detail stood out instantly. The collar. That simple white band around the neck is one of the most recognizable pieces of religious clothing in the world. But have you ever stopped and wondered, why do priests wear collars in the first place? Is it just tradition, a uniform, or does it actually mean something deeper? Today we are diving into the story behind the priest's collar, where it came from, how it evolved, and what it represents today. Interestingly, priests did not always wear those iconic collars. In the early centuries of Christianity, there was not a strict dress code for clergy. Religious leaders dressed much like everyone else in their communities. The idea of distinguishing clergy through clothing only became more formalized much later. By the Middle Ages, the Church began encouraging clergy to dress modestly and differently from the general population. This was not about fashion. It was about identity and responsibility. Priests were expected to live lives set apart, and their clothing reflected that. However, the modern priest's collar as we know it did not appear until much later. The clerical collar, sometimes called the Roman collar, is widely believed to have been popularized in the 19th century. The modern clerical collar is most commonly attributed to Reverend Dr. Donald MacLeod, a Scottish Presbyterian minister. In the mid-1800s, although it evolved from earlier styles of clerical dress already in use. At first, it was not exactly the detachable white tab we see today. Early versions were more like high, stiff collars worn under clothing. Over time, these evolved into the simple, visible white band that became standard. The priest's collar is officially known as a clerical collar. It usually consists of a white strip of fabric inserted into a black shirt. In some cases, it forms a full band around the neck, while in others it is just a small white tab at the front. The black clothing paired with the collar is also significant. Black has long been associated with simplicity, humility, and a kind of symbolic death to worldly pleasures. In this context, it reflects a priest's commitment to a life of service and devotion. The white collar, by contrast, stands out sharply. It draws attention, but not in a flashy way. Instead, it signals something important. This person has a specific role, a calling. At its core, the collar serves as a visible sign of identity.
It tells people without a single word, this person is a priest.
For one, it makes priests recognizable to those who may need them. Whether it is someone seeking spiritual guidance, confession, or comfort during a difficult moment, the collar acts almost like a signal. But it also works the other way around. For the priest, wearing the collar is a constant reminder of their role and responsibilities. It is not just something you put on. It is something you live up to. Even outside of church settings, the collar represents a commitment to certain values and behavior. There is also a symbolic interpretation that many people find meaningful. The collar encircles the neck, which some say represents being bound to service or to God. While not an official doctrine, it is a powerful image that resonates with both clergy and the public. Not all priests wear collars all the time, and not all Christian denominations use them in the same way. In the Roman Catholic Church, priests commonly wear clerical collars, especially when performing official duties or appearing in public. However, even within Catholicism, practices can vary depending on the country, situation, or personal preference. Other denominations, like Anglican, Lutheran, and some Protestant traditions, also use clerical collars. In fact, the collar is not exclusive to one branch of Christianity. It is more of a shared symbol across several traditions. That said, there are also clergy who choose not to wear them regularly, opting instead for more casual clothing, unless they are conducting services. In modern times, the use of the collar can reflect both tradition and practicality. Like many traditions, the priest's collar has evolved. What started as a practical piece of clothing became a symbol, and now exists somewhere in between. In earlier periods, clergy clothing was more rigid and formal. Today, things are a bit more flexible. Some priests wear full traditional attire daily, while others reserve the collar for specific occasions. There are also different styles. Some collars are detachable, making them easier to clean and replace. Others are built into the shirt. Interestingly, the collar has also taken on cultural meanings beyond religion. In movies and television, it is often used as a quick visual shorthand to identify a character as a priest. That alone shows how deeply recognizable it has become. In a world that is constantly changing, the priest's collar remains surprisingly consistent. It is a small detail, but it carries centuries of history, symbolism, and purpose. For many people, seeing that collar can bring a sense of comfort or reassurance. It represents guidance, tradition, and a connection to something bigger than everyday life. At the same time, it is not just about how others see it. For priests themselves, it is a daily reminder of who they are and what they have committed to. It is not always easy to live up to that role, but the collar is there, quietly reinforcing it. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories.